they're in. Hi, I'm Dr Kez, Doctor of Chiropractic, and we finally got our premium cupping sets in. Boy, oh boy, this is taking healing at home to the next level. We actually do cupping here in the clinic. When I do cupping on the middle part of the back, I do use fire cups, the glass cups, but on all other joints, I find these vacuum cupping sets absolutely ideal, and we'll take you through for why. There are so many reasons why in clinical practice we do cupping. Most importantly for me is that physical body breaking up the adhesion. So when muscles attach on top of muscles, so layer upon layer of muscles, those muscles can get stuck. So when you go to move your body, it's like your whole body moves a bit like a robot instead of them smoothly gliding over each other. That's why we use the cupping set. It creates a vacuum, whether we use fire or we use the actual vacuum pump. It creates a vacuum that draws the skin and the superficial layer, so the top layer of muscle, up and into the cup, which then breaks up those two layers so that when the treatment is over, you move fluidly and freely. Those muscles glide beautifully over the top of each other. One of the added bonuses of that is when you're in that situation of pressure, it vastly increases the circulation to that area, which aids with not only healing of soft tissue, but also detoxification. So you're getting such a range of healing benefits from having a cupping treatment. Now, once upon a time, traditional Chinese medicine were the gurus. They probably still are. But now some chiros, some myotherapists and physiotherapists are using cupping in clinical settings, which is great. However, you can now, thanks to this, do it at home. But there are a few tips that we want to make sure that you are safe with your cupping set when you get your cupping set, and to give you a bit of an understanding of what the different bits and pieces are that you're going to receive in your Dr Kez Chirolab cupping set. All right, so clearly that's the pump, and this is one of the cups. The cups that we have chosen are nice and firm for preventage of breakage and, most importantly, cracking. We don't want them to crack because then the air escapes and the treatment doesn't work properly.
Just want to show you what it actually looks like when you open
Check
the box.
it out.
So this is your box. Open up your box and you will find...
Look at all those cups. So many.
So good, so good.
Such a variety of sizes, and that's because we want you to be able to treat your entire body. If you've got an ailment
profiles
in your shoulder, these ones here are great for joints. So when you've got a joint issue, you need to keep a vacuum, right? So if you've got a little bony elbow and you put a flat cup on it, it's not going to be able to get that suction. The air's going to escape through. So those molded cups are really great for using on joints like that. So we want you to be able to use these all over your body to get the benefits of plantar fasciitis, for example, frozen shoulder, dodgy knees, you name it, not just the full spine cupping that we traditionally do or more frequently do in the clinical practice. So the different sizes are related to that. Not only that, there are actually 5 ways that you can use this cupping set, 5 different methods of cupping, including stimulating acupressure points. So those little tiny ones that Emma got are brilliant for finding those acupressure points and allowing the cup to remain on that area so that you can get stimulation of that acupressure point while you relax and watch Netflix. Loving it. All right, it's even got a gua sha board in there for stimulating the circulation and healing of your body. Absolutely fantastic. It comes with a Restore massage oil. Now, this is important. To get the cups to stick well on your skin, you need to have a layer of oil in between. You can either squirt it on the skin and give it a rub and then place the cups on and use the pump to get the suction, or I cheat now because, you know, some people come in here and then, you know, head off and go back to work, or they come in here, head off and go shopping or what have you. So rather than lathering them with oil, which can be a bit awkward, these little bottles with the spray are great. You can get just a little dab onto your finger, and then I do a sneaky where I do 2 fingers and then I work out which cups I'm going to use, and we can't see. Can you lift it up, baby? Yes. And then we just rub our fingers over the tops of the cups of the ones we're going to use, and then they will stick beautifully. If you have got a hairy back, please use more oil because you need to create that suction for this to be super, super effective. Now, I know some of you feel a little bit nervous at the thought of doing a therapy that is otherwise done by a trained professional. You need to be careful of this. This cupping set is great if you've got a loved one at home to be able to do on you, but if someone else is doing it, they need to be very, very mindful of your pain tolerance. Cupping is something, especially when you've got a set at home, that you can do bit by bit over time. You don't want to go, oh, I'm going to pump it up as hard as I can to get the most out of my cupping session. If it's going to cause you discomfort, that is not what we're about, okay? So you just need to take it easy. In fact, sometimes you don't even use a full squeeze of the pump to be able to get that pressure. So if you're doing it for a loved one at home, you must gauge their tolerance. How does it feel? Now, admittedly, we've had both types of cupping, haven't we? Fire and vacuum cupping. Initially, when the cups go on, it is quite intense. But it shouldn't be to the point that you go, I want to get out of my body and leave this venue. Do you know what I mean? It should be tight, but not to the point of pain, okay? So if that's the case, the beauty of these cupping sets is that you can just release a tiny bit of the air with the valve to allow it to then release a little bit of pressure so that you can go. And then maybe partway through the treatment, you go, you know what? You could probably put a little bit more effort in, and you just connect it again, pop, and give just a tiny little squeeze, okay? We would never do that many squeezes or your skin would pop through the surface and end up hitting the roof.
Don't do it if someone's mad at you.
Yeah, that's really important. But something else that's really important that we haven't alluded to yet is there are 12 of these magnet tips that can go onto your cupping set. The magnets draw the iron that's in your blood towards the surface and create a magnetic current through your body, which is also extremely healing. So something also for you to think of. I love doing that throughout the back because I find that it's really good to get the flow going. There is another form of cupping that we can do, but you need to be super careful with this one. It's slide cupping. If you've been to a professional that had this before, you know what I'm talking about, but it's taking a cup without the magnet, putting a small amount of pressure with this. So make sure you've got lathering oil. So let's say that we're doing it on Em's back, for example. We'd make sure she's got a lathering of oil, a small amount of pressure so that you can actually hold onto the skin and drag the cup forwards and backwards. It creates, after you've done it quite a few, it creates a redness in that area, but it really draws 100%. The circulation into that area and breaks down that whole area. That spot between the shoulder blades and the spine in there is great for slide cupping. Really, really effective.
You're there for 1 second longer. I
nearly caught one. Without oil, you need to listen to what I'm saying.
Yep, okay.
So we slide up and down just for as long as you can tolerate. It might be only about 30 seconds of it, maybe up to a minute, sliding up and down the back, and then we release the cup and take it off. It is incredible how that feels afterwards. You get that real feeling of somebody's worked that area and it's really moving very, very well afterwards. So lots of things you can do with this. And the key is don't be nervous. Start with low pressure, easy done, and then gradually work your way up to be able to do what you need to do for that area. So we are going to give you heaps and heaps of videos on different parts of your body and how you can use them. But it is important when you get this set to read the instruction manual so that you're clear in your mind what you need to do to even get the cups off. Once the cup is on, we release the pressure here, and some of them can have drawn so much skin and soft tissue into that area that you need to place a thumb or a finger on and then peel them off on an angle to be able to take them off. And I always use one of those disinfectant wipes to wipe the oil off the rim and then place it back into your set so it's nice and clean, ready to go. So even if you've lathered the area with oil first, some people like to do a bit of a massage first and then put the cups on. You just need to use that, wipe to get that oil off that area of the cup so that it's nice and clean for when we go.
It actually smells really good.
Let me tell you something about the Restore oil. You can use other oil, that's not a problem, but Restore has been specifically designed with essential oils to assist in the detoxification process. So that is super important. We want to make sure you get the most out of each and every session that you do. I know it takes time to look after your healing, and I appreciate that you're looking after your healing, but if we can make each session you do ramp up the detoxification process, increase the circulation so you're getting more out of your session, then that's what we will do by using this Restore oil. The other thing, Em's just done one on herself at the front, making rude noises as it is. The other
I don't know if you heard that, but it sounded like a fart.
It did. One of the other things to mention too,
leave it on there so you can show.
Is, can we just show this?
Oh, yes.
This is an extension tubing so that you can do some of the slightly harder to reach places yourself. Obviously, ideally from my perspective, an exchange of love, having another person do it for you is better. Your whole body can relax and you can just lie there and allow healing to take place. But if you're doing it yourself and you're trying to put it on, say, up here, it's very hard to get the angle with the pump to be able to extract the air out. So you can place the small tip on the pump end and the larger portion, has this still got oil on it?
A little bit, yeah.
Onto the cup end. Don't need to put it on too firmly because you've still got to get it off, remember, and then you can do it yourself.
Where would you like me to put it?
Wherever you can find a spot.
Right, well,
your brain's in the way.
I know, but
this is a common spot for people to want to do that themselves. We all get tight up in this area here.
Woo! Maybe I didn't put enough oil. How's that?
Good. So then you've got that area being worked when maybe someone else isn't home to be able to assist you with that area. It is important once you've got the cup on just to relax, breathe through what you're feeling. Usually within about a minute or two, that feeling of real intense tightness subsides, and that's when the adhesions have broken down. Okay, so that is important to understand. It's not like you go, oh, I have to pump it up a little bit more. That's when it's done what it needs to do. It's drawn the two layers of muscle, or the layer of muscle on your ribs, for example, apart, which is exactly what we've got it on there to do. So that's super important as well. And then once you're there, I usually do about a 10-minute session on cupping. You can basically go and use something to wipe the oil off, so whether you've got a nice warm washer there, and then of course we recommend to pop the Chirofix on the area. They do leave little cupping kisses, we call them. It looks like a bruise, but it's not a bruise. It's not the you know, traditional I've got whacked and it's a tender bruise. It's nothing like that. It's just the colour of the bruise because of the micro breakdown of blood as the blood is circulating to that particular area. So that is super important as well. So if you're planning to go for a photo shoot or a wedding and you don't want cupping marks where your dress finishes or what have you, just be mindful of that as well. There is a little trick that you can do where you put a cup on, then release it, put a cup on and then release it, and that gives you a similar effect but without leaving the cupping kisses on there. But that would be something that you would only bother doing when you've got, you know, a photo shoot or something where you don't want the, you know, cupping kisses on you. Otherwise, this, to put it on, leave it on for 10 minutes, take it off and then completely relax is super ideal. Yep. So that's our cupping sets. We're so rapt to have them. We had to do a ton of research to make sure that we got the best quality cups possible. The key to what makes this cup premium is this little valve. That was our sticking point. We had some cups that we got delivered to us that were cracked. We had other, which is the quality of the plastic, so we've ramped it up to the best quality we can get, but the key was this little valve. If that little valve is not the double D valve that we've got, then you had the issue of leakage of air. It took us ages, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Cup set upon cup set that we've now thrown out because they just were useless. These are gold. They'll stick, they'll do what you need them to do, and they'll get you the healing results that you're after. That's what we're all about. We want to help you get back on your feet and do what you love doing.
If you can do this at home,
absolutely,
100%.
Saves you so much money. Yeah, and you can even do it in between your visits to the chiro and between your visits to the physio. Yet again, it's just ramping up your body for healing so that then the chiro can come in and adjust joints, which, yes, I don't advise you do at home, but your muscles are nice and relaxed to receive that adjustment. So you're getting better results that last longer, which means you save a whole lot of money. Thanks for having us on your therapeutic journey.
Let me just take this off. Pull it out.